Hello students, in last video we have seen the structure of mitochondria and plastids and the chloroplast. In this video we'll study ribosomes. Ribosomes are the granular structure first observed by George Palade in 1953. Okay, so you can see here these are the small granular structure present on the endoplasmic reticulum. They are composed of ribonucleic acid, that is RNA, and proteins and are not surrounded by any membrane. So it is not surrounded by double membrane. So it is only made up of single membrane. The eukaryotic ribosome are 80S while the prokaryotic ribosome are 70S. Now S stands for the sedimentation coefficient. It is the measure of density and size of ribosome. Both 70S ribosomes and 80S ribosome are composed of two subunits, that is large subunit and small subunit. So this is the entire ribosome. So it is made up of two subunits. One is large subunit and another one is small subunit. Together we call it as the ribosome. Now you can see here prokaryotic ribosome, 70S ribosome say. So it consists of RNA and protein. So 16S RNA and 21 protein. So S is the sedimentation coefficient wherein RNA gets separated, and it is 16S for this particular prokaryotic ribosome. 30S, the small subunit is made up of 30S and large subunit is made up of 50S. So it is not the addition of these two numbers. Then large subunit consists of 23S plus 5S RNA and 34 proteins. Okay. Whereas eukaryotic ribosome, small subunit is made up of 40S and large subunit made up of 60S, wherein it contains 18S RNA plus 13 proteins. Here 28S, 158 and 5S RNA plus 40 protein. Now all these details are not important, but what is present in the ribosome you should know. Now cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is a network of filamentous proteinaceous structure present in the cytoplasm and is collectively referred to as the cytoskeleton. So you can see here, this is the filamentous tubular structure present in the cytoplasm, and this cytoplasm plus this filamentous proteinaceous structure, it is called as the cytoskeleton. Functions. It provides mechanical support, motility, maintenance of the shape of the cell. Now next structure is cilia and flagella. Now cilia, singular it is called as the cilium, and flagella, plural it is called singular it is called as the flagellum. Plural it is called as the flagella, singular it is called as the flagellum. They are hair-like outgrowth of the cell membrane. So they are present on the cell membrane. So you can see here, this is the flagella and these are the cilia, very small thin filament like structure which are present on the parametrium. They are the cilia, and this is the flagella which are present in bacteria, then algae. Okay. Cilia are small structure which helps in the movement of cell and surrounding fluid. Okay, they helps in the movement of the cell and the surrounding fluid. Now flagella are longer and does cell movement. So flagella, I have shown you, they are longer and also does cell movement. The prokaryotic bacteria flagella are structurally different from eukaryotic flagella. The electron microscopic study of cilium or the flagellum show that they are covered with a plasma membrane. So this membrane is the plasma membrane. Okay. Now you can see here electron micrograph A and diagrammatic representation of the internal structure of cilia and flagella. So section of cilia and flagella showing different parts. Okay, this is the electron micrograph, and this is the enlarged view of the diagram representing the same. Now you can see here it consists of outer plasma membrane, then peripheral microtubules, doublets in 2 number, then interdoublet bridge. So you can see here interdoublet bridge, then central microtubule, then radial spoke. These are the radial spoke, and central sheath. This is the central sheath. So at the center you will find 2 central microtubule, and at the periphery you will find 9 microtubule. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 microtubules. Their core, called the exoneme, possess a number of microtubules running parallel to the long axis. Okay, number of microtubules running parallel to the long axis. Their exoneme has 9 pairs of doublets. So you can see here these are the 2 doublets microtubules. So they are 9 in number. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 pairs of doublets or radially arranged peripheral microtubules and pair of centrally located microtubule, and this is the pair of centrally located microtubule. Such arrangement of exonemal microtubule is referred to as 9 plus 2 array. So this arrangement 9 plus these 2, they are called 9 plus 2 array. The central tubules are connected by bridges and by a central sheath. Okay, this is the central sheath which is connected to one of the tubules of each peripheral doublets by radial spoke. Now you can see here these are the radial spoke. So radial spoke is attached. Radial spoke is the bridge between the central sheath and the peripheral microtubule. So it is the attachment. There are 9 radial spokes. So there will be 9 radial spokes for each pair. The peripheral doublets are interconnected by linkers. Okay. Both the cilium and flagellum emerge from centriole-like structure called as the basal bodies. Okay, so they arise from the centriole-like structure called as the basal bodies. Now next structure is the centrosome and centrioles. Okay, we will see now what is centrosome and centriole. Centrosome is an organelle containing 2 cylindrical structure called as the centriole. So these 2 cylindrical structure you can see here in the cell, together they call as the centrosome. Both the centrioles in a centrosome lie perpendicular to each other, in which each has an organization like the cartwheel. Now you can see they lie perpendicular to each other, one like this, one on the other like this. Okay, and they have arrangement. So if you see enlarged section of these, so you can see here cartwheel like structure. They are made up of 9 evenly spaced peripheral fibrils tubulin. Okay, so they are made up of 9 fiber tubulins. Each of the peripheral fibril is a triplet, and you can see each peripheral fibril is a triplet. 1 2 3 1 2 3. So they are in triplet arrangement. They are 9 in number. The adjacent triplet are also linked, so they are linked together. The central part of the centriole is a proteinaceous. This is proteinaceous and called as the hub because it is connected to all the tubules, which is connected with tubules of the peripheral triplets by radial spoke and are made up of protein. So this central hub is connected to these tubules by the radial spoke. The centrioles form the basal body of cilia or flagella. Just now I explained you before, this centriole, they form the basal body of the cilia or flagella. From this, cilia and flagella are emerging. And spindle fibers that give rise to spindle apparatus during cell division in animal cell. Also, they form the spindle fiber during the cell division in the animal cells. I will show you spindle fibers in cell cycle and cell division lesson. Now next structure is a very important structure called as the nucleus. Okay. Nucleus was first described by Robert Brown in 1831. Now to appear or to be visible under the microscope, it has to be stained. So nucleus was stained by a basic dye called as the chromatin, and this was used by scientist Fleming. The interphase nucleus, that is nucleus of cell when it is not dividing, has highly extended and elaborate nucleoprotein fibers called as the chromatin, nuclear matrix, and one or more spherical bodies called as the nucleoli, and singular it is called as the nucleolus, and plural it is called as the nucleoli. Okay. So you can see this is the structure of the nucleus, wherein it consists of two membrane, inner membrane and outer membrane. Okay, then it is interrupted by nuclear pore or nuclear envelope, then endoplasmic reticulum. So when ribosomes are present, we call it as the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then nucleolus, chromatin, and the matrix is called as the nucleoplasm. So nuclear envelope consists of two parallel membrane. This is the one membrane, this is second membrane, with a space between 10 to 50 nanometer called as the perinuclear space. So the space between the two membrane, that is inner membrane and outer membrane, is called as the perinuclear space. It forms a barrier between the material present inside the nucleus and of the cytoplasm. The outer membrane usually remains continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum. So you can see here continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum, and also bears ribosomes on it. The nuclear envelope is interrupted by minute pore, means small hole-like structure are present on the nucleus. They are called as the nuclear pore, okay, which are formed by the fusion of its two membrane. These nuclear pore are the passage through which movement of RNA and protein molecule take place in both directions between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So the protein and RNA content from the nucleus is passed into the cytoplasm by these small pores, and the cytoplasm content is passed to the nucleus with the help of these small minute pores called as the nuclear pore. Normally, there is only one nucleus per cell. Variation in the number of nucleus are also frequently observed. So, in some cell you will find many numbers of nucleus, whereas in some cell you will find only one nucleus per cell, such as plant cell, animal cell. But many nucleus you will find in the fungi, cenocytic hyphae. Okay. Erythrocytes of many mammals and sieve tube cells of vascular plant lack nucleus. So these are the exclusions. The nuclear matrix or the nucleoplasm contain nucleolus and chromatin. Now you can see this is the nucleolus and this is the chromatin. The nucleoli are spherical structure present in the nucleoplasm. The content of the nucleolus is continuous with the rest of the nucleoplasm, as it is not a membrane bound structure. This nucleolus doesn't contain a membrane, so it is a continuous into the nucleoplasm. It is non-membrane bound structure. It is a site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. So RNA synthesis take place in the nucleolus. Okay. Now, you should not get confused with the nucleus and nucleolus. Nucleolus is present in the nucleoplasm and this is the nucleus. Okay. So, nucleus contains double membrane bound structure, but whereas nucleolus does not. So larger and more numerous nucleoli are present in cells actively carrying out protein synthesis. So the number of nucleus also, many numbers of nucleolus are present in the nucleus. In the interface, nucleus has a loose and indistinct network of nucleoprotein fibers called as the chromatin. So interface is, you will say, chromatin fiber. But during different stages of cell division, cell shows structure chromosome in place of the nucleus. So during the cell division that you will study in the next chapter, cell cycle and cell division, this chromatin forms the chromosomal structure. They form a chromosome. Chromatin contains DNA and some basic proteins called as the histones, some non-histone proteins and also RNA. So this chromatin, when it condenses, it become a chromosome. Okay, chromatin when it condenses become a chromosome. We call it as a chromosome, and it consists of DNA. You can say it is full DNA. Then there are some basic proteins called as the histones. These are the histones which helps in the packaging of DNA. There are non-histone proteins and also RNA are present. A single human cell has approximately 2-meter long thread of DNA. So this entire chromosome will have, if you can see, if we unwind it, if we open it, and you can see a spring-like structure. So this is almost 2-meter long. So such a long 2-meter DNA is packed into such a small nucleus. Okay, so this packaging of DNA is possible because of this histone protein, and you will learn this in detail in 12th standard. Okay? Packaging of DNA. Every chromosome essentially has a primary constriction or the centromere. Okay, on the site of which disc-shaped structure called kinetochore are present. Now you can see on the chromosome this disc-like structure is called as the kinetochore, and on the other side you will find the centromere. Now based on the position of the centromere, the chromosomes can be classified into 4 types. So based on the position of the centromere, chromosomes are classified into 4 types. The first one is the metacentric, second one is the submetacentric, third one is the acrocentric, fourth one is the telocentric. Now the metacentric chromosome has middle centromere forming 2 equal arms of the chromosome. Now before explaining the metacentric, first we should know the parts of the chromosome. Now these are called as the chromosomal arms. So they have longer arm and short arms. Sometimes they arms are, you can see here, this is the short arm, this is the long arm. Sometimes they are equal in number. So depending upon the position of the centromere, the length of the arm varies. So the metacentric chromosome has middle centromere, so their arms are equal, okay, forming 2 equal arms. The submetacentric chromosome has centromere near to the one end of the chromosome, resulting into 1 short arm and 1 long arm. So it is called as the submetacentric. Then next one is the acrocentric chromosome. Here the centromere is situated close to its end, forming 1 extremely short arm and 1 very long arm. So very short arm and very long arm. And it has secondary constriction. A few chromosomes, the last one is the telocentric chromosome, which has centromere at the terminal. So it doesn't have short arm. So the centromere is present at the terminal, so it has only long arms. So they have some chromosomes have secondary constriction. You can see this is primary and this is secondary constriction, and as a result they form a satellite. Okay, this structure is called as the secondary form due to the secondary constriction. A few chromosomes have non-staining secondary constriction and it doesn't contain stains as at a constant location that gives the appearance of small fragment called as the satellite, and we called it as a satellite. Now microbodies, next structure, last part. Many membrane-bound minute vesicles called microbodies that contain various enzymes are present in both plants and animal cell. They are the very small vesicle, means spherical bodies, which are present in both plants and in animal cell. And what is their function? They contains various enzymes. Thank you, student. I hope you have understood. If you have any doubt, you can call message me, or you can come to me to solve your difficulties. Thank you.